Lori, Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. And I am coming to you at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, December 14th. So I made it before midnight. Woohoo! All right, welcome. Let me get my devices set up here so I can see as people join in the conversation here. I did not put all of my little pre-video notes in here, so I got one up here. Let me get the other one going. All right, I think we are good to go. So, welcome. A couple of quick announcements. We have, let me get a drink of water quick. My store has a new name, so you may not be able to see that very good from where you are, but I can now be found at latenightLori.stampinup.net. So if you want to see all of the things that are going on with Stampin' Up, and there we go, all the things that are going on with Stampin' Up, the promotions or sales that we've got going on. I will be adding projects once all of this busy season stuff passes. Hopefully I'll be putting more projects online along with shopping carts so you can see the products that I've used. And if you want to select any of those projects or products, you'll be able to do that pretty easily. So that's my store. We have a new mini catalog. This goes live on January 6th. I can only show you the cover. I cannot show you any of the pages inside, but I can tell you there is so much fun stuff in here. I could probably order something new almost every day, but I've been holding back. I've been pretty good. I do have a bunch of new things that I'm anxious to start showing you. I've been kind of going slow because I don't want to give it all away. But this catalog goes live on January 6th. If you do not have a demonstrator, if you are not a demonstrator and would like a catalog, let me know, and I can get a catalog out to you. As always, if you are new to my channel, let me know where you're joining from. Feel free to join into the conversation. And certainly if you're watching it on replay, feel free to add a comment where you're watching from. I do try to watch all of the comments and respond to those as long as YouTube lets me see that there are comments there. But one of the things we've got going on right now that's new to Stampin' Up! Is Product of the Month. This is new in December. They just launched it. It is replacing our celebration. So January and February will not have celebration, but we will have different products every month that you can snatch up for just $5 when you have qualifying purchase. So a qualifying purchase in the United States is a $75 order before tax and shipping. Sarah Douglas, our head honcho for Stampin' Up, is calling this the Cool Club or the Cool Kids Club. I'm not sure. She might have referred to it as both, but I should have my paper tomorrow. All right. If you've got questions about that, shoot me a message. Let me know. And then in January, the 22nd and 23rd, we are having a virtual card retreat. If you were part of the virtual album retreat that we did a few months ago, this is sure to be as informational and challenging, perhaps, as the virtual album retreat. We're going to do, hello, Susan Johnson from Melbourne. Welcome, welcome. This virtual card retreat will do 15 advanced or avid cards. So we'll have, I believe, cutting instructions, and we have a supply list ahead of time. They've given us pictures of what we can expect to make. So these are not going to be simple cards. All right. If you want to purchase this virtual card retreat, once you purchase it, you will get an email from Stampin' Up! With the link for the Facebook group. You join the Facebook group. That's where the live will be conducted. Once it's live, they will download it and save it and then repost it because Facebook takes down live videos after 30 days. So they're figuring out how that works. So we will have continued access for those of us that purchase this. Anybody local to me, I am hoping to have a watch party. So let me know if and when you purchase this, if you're local to me, if you want to do it together, let me know so that I can plan accordingly. All right. So how was your weekend, Susan, from Melbourne? Because you're on Monday already, right? You are you're 17 hours ahead of me. So you're like supper time, right? Dinner time, I believe. All right. There is a little bit of a delay from my video to when I see comments. So if you answer and I don't notice it right away, I apologize. But the last few nights we have been playing with this new paper called Love Notes. It is 6x6 designer series paper. Hello, Juju. And I've been having at least quite a bit of fun. I won't show all of the designs. I showed them again at the end of last night's video. So if you need to take a look, feel free to do so. Catch the replay. This was one of the first cards we did, but this is the one we did last night. I think this is one of my favorites so far. We made this the night before. This is cased out of the catalog. If you have the catalog, I think it might be page 17. Let me look. I think, but I'm not positive. Yes, page 17 is where I took my inspiration. We made a couple little changes, but that's part of what casing is. All right. And then we also did this card. And I think this was just using some leftover pieces. I don't see anything in the catalog that looks like this. So those are our cards. Now, last video, we talked about recreating this with water painting. So we're going to give it a whirl. All right. So here's the piece of designer series paper that we're going to try to mimic, and we're going to see where it goes. I have no idea where it's going to go because I did not practice. We had our granddaughter all weekend, and she likes to stay active, as any like 7, almost 8-year-old does, I suppose. But we did a lot of shopping and crafting, and we made all of her school treats today. So we made 25 treats for her friends and a couple of teachers at school today. So she was die cutting and Versamarking and embossing and doing all of the things. So I'm going to try to post pictures of what we made. I'll try to post those later. So it was busy. And the weekend just flew by. So I did not practice with this. So we're just gonna kind of wing it. I'm gonna get a big block here, and I am going to get some water, because you can use the water painters a couple of different ways. Sometimes I like to just stamp my ink on here. So yes, Susan, it's 5:10 p.m. Yep. Your weekend was great, but extremely busy. Oh, your son's birthday, Christmas lunch, shopping all day with your mom, haircuts, lunch. It sounds like a very busy weekend. But that's why we have weekends, so that we can go back to work and rest up, right? Or if you're retired. All right, so you've been out for 8 hours. You're a bit tired now. Yeah, I bet. So the first thing I think I'm going to do is just prep a couple of card bases so we can get those out of the way. I don't know what color. No work for you, retired. Me too. It's like every day is a weekend. Some days I have to look at my watch to see what day of the week it is. So if something happened and I had to go to the hospital and they needed to ask me what day it was, sometimes I'd be like, well, I'm not really sure. I'm retired. I don't have to worry about what day of the week it is unless I have an appointment. All right, so I'm going to take this whole full piece of cardstock. I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. I'm going to turn it and cut it at 5 1/2. And then, so this is Flirty Flamingo, and then I've got the Cherry Cobbler. So we'll do this at 4 1/4. And cut it at 5 1/2. So if I do a whole sheet at once, then I only have to score once and cut once to get my 2 bases. All right, so we've got 2 bases kind of ready to go. So who does a lot of water painting? Anybody? So all I can do is kind of show you the way that I have done it. And see if I can cut down some of this glare, but that didn't work. There we go. And we'll turn on this other light. I don't know if that one helps or not. That is my note light because I've got all kinds of notes taped to it. All right, so anyway, what you play with watercoloring? Of course you do. So you will probably be able to give me some tips. So we can do this a couple of ways. Some people like to use re-inkers, where we just add a couple of drops to a block. We probably only need like 1 drop for right now. There's a lot in here. We can do our cherry cobbler. I like to kind of shake these up a little bit. I don't know if I need to. It's just kind of, you do, right? So that is our cherry cobbler. There we go. And what I also like to do is, some people will take their stamp pad and they'll squeeze it onto the back and get a blob of ink in here and then add water to this. You can see I don't do that. That just doesn't work for me. So what I will do is I will stamp some ink on my block and pick up color that way. But I do not like the idea, these need to be re-inked. I've been using my inks so much. They all need to be inked down. So I did bring in some water because sometimes it's a little easier than fighting with the brush. For me, it's fighting because my fingers are usually sore, but really all it takes is to drop some water on here. And you should get your, if you're using the watercolor paper, like I'm using the Fluted 100 watercolor paper, premium archival cotton watercolor paper. All right, so this is a little textured, but we're going to get it wet because that's how it apparently works best. A lot of times I forget to do this, and then I wonder why my color sets so quickly, but that would probably be why, because I don't wet it when I start. All right, so let's just smooth that out here. All right, so then I will always start with my lighter color first. And luckily the lighter color is the background. And we're gonna just take some of this Flirty Flamingo. Now I'm gonna drop some water in here because I want it to be quite a bit lighter. And this is pretty intense. And if I just take it where I dropped from the ink pad, that's a little lighter because it's not, there's not quite as much ink. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the lighter one. Hello, Bon Bon. And we're just going to start putting some of this on here. And I think this is all kind of random, so I'm just going to try to tell myself not to go all in a single line. And I guess I should have left a border out there, but oh well. We're just using this for inspiration, right? I'm not trying to plagiarize it. All right, what's it? Oh, Juju, go to bed. You've been up. You have to work. All right, so I think I'm going to add maybe a little bit more water here. Oh, you know something else I could do? I could go get some salt. That might be kind of fun. All right. So there's that. Let's maybe make the ends a little smoother, kind of like that one is, I suppose. So it doesn't look quite so random like a 5-year-old did it, right? And I didn't even try to see if this matched my cardstock. I guess it'll be all right. All right, and then to clean this out, all we have to do is drop water out of here until it kind of runs clean. Kind of like when you're cooking chicken, you know, if you slice it and the juice is clear, you're good to go. So that's pretty clean. Usually I have paper towel, but this Kleenex was handy. Bon Bon, you're just in and out? No, Bon Bon, you just woke up. Maybe you're just saying hello to everybody. I don't know. All right, so let's let this dry for just a minute. Juju, do you ever put salt on your stuff to change the appearance of it? I'm just wondering if I should run and go get some salt out of the kitchen. So if I do this heart right away, is it going to run too much, Juju? Because sometimes I'm not very patient. Yeah, it'll run. Oh, yes to the salt. I don't know if I should take a heat gun to this. I get so impatient. So I think what I want to do is just something simple again. Let's, Oh, I could do a You're Amazing. Why not? Yes and yes. Let it dry. Should I go get the salt? Is that what the yes and yes is? I lose track. Squirrel. I forgot what the question was. Yes, you use salt, I'm guessing. And maybe, yes, I should go get some because I have seen it done and it looks pretty cool. I've just never done it. So there's that piece. That might be kind of fun to use. I like that little balloon too. Salt, yes. Dry, yes. Heat gun, yes. Okay, I'm gonna run and go get some salt. I didn't actually run, I just kind of trotted. So I have some coarse kosher salt. I think that might work really well. I have some sea grinders or some sea salt in a grinder. I can grind onto there. I need to put salt on before I let it dry though, right? And then I also have some Himalayan pink salt, but it's fine. I don't know that the fine salt will get us what we want. What do you think, Juju, or anybody else? All right, I don't think I want that. Oh, something sweet for someone neat. That's kind of fun. We might have to use that one too. So, bigger salt. All right. On the wet paper, correct? Do I need to make it a little wetter? Or do I need to spritz it? Because it's really coarse. bigger salt. Yep, I got the coarse stuff. But my paper's not very wet right now. Make it wetter. I'm gonna get a spritzer. And I'm gonna add water to my spritzer because it's empty. All right, spritzer is primed. All right, so let's take this over to the sink, I think, and spritz. All right, so I spritz. Now what? Maybe I didn't spritz enough. Because when I've seen it done, it's almost like it gives that starburst right away. Do I just have to be more patient? So, what did everybody do this weekend? I already talked about having our granddaughter. Leave it. Okay. And I just have to be patient enough to let the salt dissolve. Is that the deal? All right, so what do we do in the meantime? Set that over there. Now I have to try to do something else? Huh, I didn't come up with the plan B. But I guess we should come up with the plan B. I like that piece. And I think that might go good with that little blue plaid piece that I didn't know what to do with. Let's take a look. That might be kind of fun. I need to trim a little bit more off of this. It won't dissolve, just pull off or pushes color away from the salt spot. Yeah, I don't really see that action going on though. How long does it take? Or do I just need to dab it off? Because I don't see it shifting. Maybe I'm not wet enough. Can you see that? This is an experiment. Late Night Lori style. I should have probably practiced so I could make sure that it worked. Oh well. That's half the fun, is just crafting on the fly, right? All right, well, let's go ahead and we'll trim this down a little bit. And in fact, maybe we'll get this down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I think I'm going to rip the edges. Oh, when I brush it off. So should I use my heat gun then to dry it? In the meantime, we'll just rip these edges around here because it's still kind of wet. And I still have to do the cherry cobbler heart, but I'm thinking I need to kind of start over with the paper starting out dry. You don't know, you never tried it? I thought you were my mentor here. Trying something new. Oh well. Maybe my paper wasn't wet enough to begin with so that it's not dissolving enough. Maybe I should spritz it more. It's just paper, right? Exactly. I'm going to spritz it more. I'll let it sit for just another little bit. And then we'll dab it off maybe. Never heat gun it. Okay. Just let it dry. Maybe I should let it drip. No, I'm going to leave it alone. All right, so there's that. And then let's go ahead and trim just the edge off of there because it had some of the other color on there. Juju, you want this? And then let's go get some white. Something sweet for someone neat. I'd have to give that to somebody with a goodie. Try it that way so you'll know. Like to dab it off or to let it drip. It is not having the desired effect. I'm not seeing any little starburst stuff from the salt. Maybe I should have done some research on this first. That's right, it'll still work out. I'll just let that sit for another couple minutes. All right, so let's go ahead and work on this one a little bit more. I think this side is a little Kakalovich. It looks a little pudgy in the middle here, so I'm just going to straighten that out a little bit. There, I think that'll work. I kind of like that. You don't want these, Juju? All right, they're going in the recycle bin. All right, so I'm going to get, let's do this one. I've got 2 of these cherry cobbler card bases. It did change the color of the pink a little bit. So this can kind of go here. That can go there. And then a cute little sentiment, and I think we're good to go. I wonder if the, I have some real red ribbon. Of course, that's already got a string. I probably don't need any ribbon. What other sentiment can go on here? Sending hugs. Well, I could just do love again, I suppose. I'm just seeing what other sentiments are in here. Started your bath water, so you missed. No, I did not use a heat gun. What? I thought you told me not to use a heat gun. I try to follow instructions. Should I heat gun? I dabbled it. I dabbled half of it. I'm trying to decide on like a little sentiment for here, but I don't think I'm going to use one from the paper. Or maybe sending hugs with just the red and the, yeah, isn't that? Try what, Juju? Try the heat gun? All right, so we're going to chop this up a little bit. And I just want to use the words, not the envelope. All right, I'll get my heat gun. The heat gun had a lot of activity today because my granddaughter was using the gingerbread guy, and we made 25 gingerbread candy cane holders for her friends at school, and then we started to make another set of as many for her stepbrother. All right, here comes the heat gun. I thought you said never the heat gun. All right, let's just see. My heat gun's not like your paint peeling heat gun, Juju. Mine doesn't get all red inside like yours. So the salt did do a little color variance there. I'll just do this from both sides of the paper. It's funny how it curls and straightens and curls and straightens. I watched you either last night or the night before when you put it on and you're like, oh my gosh, I was waiting to see the paper start on fire. You were holding it pretty close to the paper. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope she's got a fire extinguisher close by. I do, only because I was a firefighter, so, you know. All right, that's pretty dry. So let's brush this off. It did not have the desired effect. So maybe I'll use salt that's not quite as coarse, and we'll try it again. It did change the color a little bit. You can kind of see where the salt changed the color. I don't know. All right, let's set this aside here for a second. And we'll go back to that one so that we can finish this one. Let me get rid of these pieces of salt. All right, so now we need more wetness on here so that I can do the other color here. Where's my brush? I think I'll use this one. And we're going to use the cherry cobbler and try to do this heart. Yeah, Puff the Magic Dragon. He did not know his own strength. Now I started singing that song in my head. My kids used to love that movie. All right, let's see how this works. I'm just going to do it on the dry paper. And I'm going to add a little bit more water and make my second one lighter. It was supposed to be the opposite, but... So this is ink for my ink block, and this was a re-inker that I didn't even use. Yeah, I know, it should be speckled spots, but it's not. So Lori's salt experiment was a fail. All right, so let's do a little darker here. I think that's going to be good enough. Now, let me get, oh, I need another, I should probably make it a little more pointy down here, huh? So it looks more like a heart. All right, I'm just going to dribble some water on here a little bit. And I'm going to use my other salt. Let's see what that does. Whoops! It's got a bleeding heart. Well, that's where we're going to put a sentiment. I guess it was a little too wet. All right, so the salt, grinder salt didn't do so well either. So let's, I know this is, I mean, I've seen other people do it and it looks like it's so easy, right? All right, let's get another piece of Fluid 100 paper. It's only paper. I have more packages. That was cool, the bleeding heart. Well, we're just gonna put this right here. You're Amazing is gonna go right over there. Nobody will ever know. All right, so if this is a note card, so it's 7 by 5. Yeah, our Fluid 100 is 5 by 7. So I'm just gonna cut this to 3.5. So it's like a note card size. And we're gonna get it good and wet, I guess. That's what you're telling me. Let's finish this one quick. I got a lot of pieces going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this up on strips. Just because I want it uniformly raised, I think, over the whole card. I need snips. So we'll do 2 that size. And I'm going to put these in just a little bit because I want the edges to be able to crumple if they want to. And then we're going to do longer sides. So we're going to do about to there. Alrighty, and then I actually did a little bit of cleaning and straightening today. Yeah, in our north wing, which was the addition. I'm gonna put some more in here. And the addition has been relatively unused for the last 1.5 years, unfortunately. And I am aiming to change that. So I was cleaning and straightening and condensing. It's just a lot of stuff all over because we got a new bed. We used to have a queen size bed. We now have a king size bed, and it is one where the head and the foot can go up, so I can have my feet elevated for my poor tired ankles that swell up a lot. And I can push the little button and raise Macman's head when he snores. All right, I think I want to do you think we need to put a backing on this, a frame, a mat? And then these I'm gonna snip down. So we're going to do sending hugs. Do you think I need a mat, or do you think that's good enough? I'm kind of thinking that might be good. And then I like these new Moody Palette glossy dots. I might have to get more of these because I'm going through the white ones pretty quickly. But they're flat. Maybe, we're gonna put a couple of these on here. And one more. They're fun. I think I needed 5, that's all. All right, I think I'm just going to put that on like that without any kind of mat. I could always... What color blue is this? Let's see. I got a big mess going on here. That is Azure Afternoon. I'm going to go get Azure Afternoon. because I am going to give it just a little border with ink. It'll be subtle, but it'll be there. Or not so subtle. I added a little extra. I kind of like that. All right, so this, I'm just going to put a little glue on. I don't want to get my fingers on the edges because it might be a little damp. Should be good by now. I'll put that right about there. And then we're going to put sending hugs. And normally I would put those on dimensionals too, but I put the dimensionals all the way in the middles and the edges. So if I do that, I have to put extra postage. And I'm too cheap to do that. So we're going to do sending hugs. All right, so there's that one. Juju, I think it's just you and me. What happened? This will go here. This will go here. This is still a little wet, so let me get the heat gun on that. And then I can brush off that salt, because that salt didn't really do anything either. Yeah, that really didn't do anything either. We'll try on the next one. Let's glue this down. I feel like I have a little bit of salts under here. All right. And then this, we can go ahead and put on dimensionals. But I'm going to tear these edges just so it looks more, hello Tanya. We're experimenting with water painting and salt today, and I'm not getting the intended result. So we're going to give it a go on another piece and see how it works. We're going to try more water and see if that works. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I tried with some really coarse salt, and I tried with some medium coarse salt. And this I'm going to put on dimensionals, because there's no dimensionals there already. So we had a little bit of a bleeding heart here because my water painting was still wet, and I went like this and it dripped. So we had a bleeding heart, but we're going to cover it up. I almost feel like this should have twine around there. But I seem to have lost. Oh, here we go. I found another roll of white. It's strange that I would have run out of white. I don't usually do that. All right. So we are going to What do I want to do? We're going to tuck this under here. Oh, maybe we could just maybe do some swirly twine. I just feel like it needs something. It seemed a little bare. Now that looks silly too. We put this over like this. I could just tuck these down and use a glue dot. Maybe. I guess I should have thought of that before I glued that side down. We'll make it work. It's a little crooked. I guess they're all going to be a struggle today. All right, and I think I want some more of those white dots on there. That still looks crooked. Yeah, well, the bleeding heart's still in there. You can kind of see it because I put the sentiment kind of low. You were overruled by one, just me. I think I was the only one that said anything about the bleeding heart. But I do think maybe I need to raise it up because that looks a little funny. I'm going to put, these are flat dimensionals. I think they're from a kit. So I think they're a little flatter than normal. I'm going to put more dimensionals. I'm going to double them up. And then, where did that one come from? Oh, that was on my finger, I guess. Let's put that where it belongs. What do you mean I wiped the card so fast? It was dry. By the time I did this, it was all dry. Because you told me to use the heat gun. We'll try it again. I got another piece of paper ready. It's only paper. All right, the bleeding heart is now covered. All right, sorry, Juju. All right, so there's one. There's two. Now let's go back to this watercoloring here, or water painting. Maybe I need to do it with a darker color. Maybe the Flirty Flamingo wasn't dark enough. So let's do, I get a little scrap here. Let's do this. Let me, yeah, the bleeding heart did happen fast. I lifted up the paper, it dripped. And I dabbed. All right, so let's, you like my little jar here? This is a yogurt jar, but it had a design on it, so I bought a bunch of them, even though I don't usually eat very much yogurt. All right, we're gonna get this super wet, hopefully. I almost thought about running it under the faucet. All right, so that's pretty wet. And now if I add some Flirty Flamingo, that's pretty wet. Oh, this might work better. Because it's really, it's spreading out quite a bit. Let me get some more of the salt. Oh, now I can see it kind of pushing away, but I think the problem is maybe that color was too light. I saw it kind of, it is pressing away from the color. So let's do a little bit more here, and let's use, she lifted it, dripped, she went, it was just a Kleenex. It was handy. Oh, look at that. All right, let's try salt on that. That's gonna work, I bet. Maybe not. There's some coarse salt. I'm gonna use, let's use some of this Himalayan white, or the pink Himalayan stuff. That's making it speckled. I'm gonna zoom this in a little bit. Hopefully that'll come into focus. So I don't know, do I have to dab it faster or spritz it more? Maybe I'm just expecting more of a wow. Because I can see there is a little bit of a halo here. I can see where it's lifting off the color here. But really, let me go get a piece of vellum. Whoops. So now there's vellum scraps all over the floor. All right, let me move this over here. We can watch this cure. So if I do vellum, and if I use a marker, so that's the Cherry Cobbler, and this is Dark Flirty Flamingo. And if I use my spritzer on this, you can see how it creates some texture. Let's spritz a little more. I'm gonna go get another piece of vellum. And I'm gonna show you how it does it with just water. I can see where the salt is doing its thing, because it is changing the color of the ink. But let's say I do the same thing. You can tell I had that pretty wet because it's curling. All right, so let's do the same thing here on this one. And if we take our water painter, I need more water in here. Give me a second. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Because I do feel like I get the same or similar results, but actually better with the water. It's going to try to flick it on here. Oh, that was a big drop. But usually when I do it like this, maybe on the vellum it won't work. I wonder if I used an alcohol spritzer. Oh, there we go. So that's what, since I used alcohol blends, I need to use an alcohol marker. The water didn't work. This is what I expected the salt to do. Oh, you can't even see that, can you? This is what I expected the salt to do. I think you can see that now. All right, so instead, the salt just kind of changed the color a little bit, where spritzing actually makes it fan out. Now this did not do what I wanted it to do with the salt. I don't know why that is. All right, let's dry this so I can flake that salt off of there. Maybe the salt technique is overrated. Or maybe I'm just doing it wrong. I may have to do some more checking on that and see why it didn't work. Now, I did not bring regular table salt. And maybe that would work better. I don't know. So I do have some speckles under here now. This started out more wet. The Himalayan pink salt didn't do anything. It's just kind of staying on there. It doesn't even want to come off. But having more water on the watercolor paper actually gives it a nice effect. Let me go get table salt. I'm thinking that's not going to do much either, but you never know. Maybe I'll just do it on the back. Why not, right? It is science. Sometimes we talk about medical things. Sometimes we talk about elements and I don't know. What other discussions have we gotten into? Sometimes it's very educational. All right, so this is pretty wet. So now if we take that and then there, table salt worked the best. I saw it immediately go whoosh. Can you see that? So table salt worked the best. It immediately made some changes where the coarser salt didn't do so much. Interesting. Very interesting. This is the most I've used salt in years. I don't use much salt on my food. I rarely add salt. This does not want to go flat. And see, this was with the alcohol. So alcohol blend and an alcohol spritzer. I think that gave us the best results. This was coarse salt, and this is table salt. Of the salts, no, table salt also has iodine. Oh, I wonder if that does have anything to do with it, Yuta. Welcome. It might, because I do buy the iodized salt. So that's got a lot more activity going on there, displacing the painted water, or the water painted areas. Whoops. All right. This had more of the effect that I expected the coarse salt to have. One hour to leave time? You, Juju, or is Yuta going somewhere? Are you driving to get your son? You should be sleeping if that's the case. If you're leaving in an hour, if you have to drive. All right, so this is regular table salt. This was, I think this was the coarse salt again, which is okay. But this was alcohol blends with alcohol spritz, with alcohol water. How long of a drive is it for you, Juju? You should have been sleeping, woman. Because he's done on the 18th, right? So you must have to go some distance to get him. How fun. Oh, you had been sleeping before you came on. Okay. So my brush isn't quite clean yet. So I may just clean it under the sink. Oh, I suppose I could back this off a little bit, huh? All right. Yes, definitely have a safe journey. 10 hours. So do you get to see him in those 3 days before he's done? He just can't leave the base or wherever he is? No, it's cherry cobbler, Robert. We already had a bleeding heart. You missed it. You can go back and watch the replay. We had a bleeding heart. We fixed it though. This was our bleeding heart. We fixed it. And then we did this one to fill some time. And now I don't know what I'll do with these. I would like to use a die to cut this out and use it on a card somewhere. We could use this too. I know that might be kind of a fun border. You did, it's all good. It was fine. I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off because I think I'm done playing with the ink coloring. Now it looks like there was a mishap in my sink. That barrel-shaped die. That might be too big for this. One that I've used before, right? Which one was that from? I think that was from... let me think. I'm trying to think what that was called. I've used it a lot too. Here we go. Label Me Grateful. This one. Yeah, this could be go behind a cutout, but I do not have any of the current heart cutouts if we were going to do that. And like something like that would be fine. Is this the one, or where'd it go? I'm looking at the screen, I'm seeing the delay. Is this that barrel-shaped one that you're talking about? Yes, okay. Let's cut it out, and I actually have a white one too. That might be a good background for it. I'm gonna walk over to my other machine so that I don't have to mess everything up here. Although it probably would have made more sense to make the cutout and put this behind. Sella, welcome! It would have made more sense to have my cutout be a different color and then have this sheet fully behind it. So we were playing with some vellum. We've been playing with salt. The salt was kind of a fail, but it's fine, right? It's fine. I think this is just going to be a stained brush maybe, huh? That's pretty good. That's fine. All right, brushes and spritzers are going up. Trimmer, oh, I brought that out for here. I'm just gonna trim this into a long strip because that might be something worth putting on a card. I don't know. I kind of like the colors. We'll see. So we did our science experiment, and in the process we actually made 2 cards. I don't sound fine. Do I sound disappointed that the salt didn't work? I am kind of disappointed that the salt didn't work how I wanted it to. Now, it kind of did on this one. Enjoy dinner, Susan. It's wonderful that your husband cooks for you. My husband can make pasta. Go figure, he's Italian. He can make pasta. All right, I kind of like that with the white background. So we probably use this on a card. If I have a bigger text die, spots like that. Oh, that would make, that's a great idea. I do have some word dies. That might make a fun, like, February. I have an old set, I think, that's got all the months. This has, what do these all have? I cut them all out. Yeah, MacMan is a keeper. So we have autumn greetings, holidays, New Year's, Christmas, Halloween, Merry. We could probably turn this into a Merry Christmas. That might fit. That would fit. We could turn it into Merry Christmas. What do you think of that? Let's give that a whirl. Why not? I like that. That way it won't be wasted. Let's get out the little machine. I think I have room for that. Sala, I don't know if you were here. Juju's leaving soon to go pick up her son, who has been gone for 6 months. So she's over the moon. That text as black or gold on top would be fabulous. These, instead of cutting out the vellum, you mean? Or layering it over the vellum? I'm not exactly sure what. Oh, and then doing the letters over that. Let me get a piece of, I've got titanium or I've got gold. I think this piece, ooh, that would just fit. I'm going to put adhesive sheets on these though. Oh, I should use April and May. All right, let me get adhesive sheets for these. And let me get all this salt out of my way. That's a little distracting. And I have vellum scraps all over my floor too. All right, I can't get these sheets apart. They're stuck. All right. We'll do titanium. And gold. Because it'll work better if I already have adhesive on them, right? right, let's try titanium. So originally you meant the cardstock pieces with color slots would be great for big, thick sentiments like hello. Oh well, let's see. So I guess with color slots. I'm confused how we were. Do you mean like using separate letters? Sometimes I don't quite understand splots, color splots. So here, with color splots would be great for big, thick sentiments. Like this card's, oh, like this one. This one you mean? So you didn't really mean any of this. Well, I can hang on to this. Because who can't use a Merry Christmas again? All right, let's see if I get this. So this piece or this piece. It's just brainstorming how I can use all the leftover pieces. Yes, like that one. All right, Sally, the comments are delayed, so I don't know what that one was that I was pointing to at the time. How many colors of dye do you have? Like 50. Complete sentences. I need complete sentences. It's just brainstorming how you could use all the leftover pieces. Yes, like that one, like this one. This is the watercolor watercolor paper. This is the one. No, you're replying to Yuda. I'm lost too. Okay, so big letters. But out of what? This paper? This splotted one? Yes, the watercolor piece in my hand. The watercolor piece, this one. This is the watercolor on the barrel one. So the watercolor piece is put on this one. Ding, ding, ding. Is that what we want? So letters cut out of this one placed on there. So what do we want the letters to say? Yay, April? Because I do have individual letters. I just needed the Christmas out here. So Sala, at the time that I was talking, I had both of these in my hand. So you meant later on as an idea how you could use the water. So how I can use the watercolored cardstock piece. Yes, that is an awesome idea. I will save that piece for later with letters. Sometimes I'm a little slow. It's a struggle. Can we see how Merry Christmas looks? Yes, we can see how Merry Christmas looks. Do we want Merry Christmas in tungsten? Yeah, sometimes it takes me a bit to catch on just because there's a delay. I'm going to blame it on the delay. because I don't see the comments as fast as you're saying them or typing them. And then by the time I've moved on to something else, I've totally forgotten what the question was or the suggestion was. All right, so there's Mary and there's Christmas. I could do it in gold. We could put it on Juju, you were lost with no delay. All right, so this could go here somehow with some pretty paper behind it too. So there's Merry Christmas. I can't believe that it's already the 15th of December. Silver and gold, silver and gold. I can do gold. I have gold. I just have to put, oh, this already has adhesive sheet on it. Merry Christmas again. I just have to punch a couple of these little pieces out of here. There, it came out. All right, so I'm saving this watercolor piece to make big letters later. All right, let's do Merry Christmas on gold. No, Stella, I don't think your words are wrong. I think it's just, I don't get it more because of the delay. When I hear you on your videos, your words are perfect. That's kind of cool too. All right, so I'm going to shift this off of here. And we'll do Mary. That is a story, and we're sticking with it. That's the delay. I like to stick with my story. All right, so there's Mary. So we went from like the Valentine vibe to the Christmas vibe. I'm not sure how that happened. It was pretty seamless. My granddaughter loves doing that. She loves just whipping those dies down. All right, so there's that. What do you think, gold or tungsten? Because that's what we'll end up doing next time. I'll finish putting this together next time. Have you thought that die looks like an old-time TV? Absolutely. You must have missed the video where I actually said that and I pulled out my old set. What is it called? Stay tuned. It's called Stay Tuned. Can I find it? Can I find it? I don't see it here, but there was a set that I have it somewhere. Maybe it's on the other side. No, I don't. It's not there either. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is. I had it. I had it out not too long ago, but it's a Stay Tuned set. And it had an old-fashioned TV like that. Okay, so now I missed a few. They both look good. It tells you to, if I was working with that text dye, I'm pretty sure it would end up gluing it as Merry Christmas. Yeah. There we go. All right, so I think for tonight, I am done playing. Juju has a mission. She has a long drive ahead of her. And I need to save the dots for the, oh, I wonder if I got rid of the dot for the Christmas from that one. I still have it for the gold one. I scooped up all my debris and that's where it was left behind. So there's the dot for the eye. Where did it go? Here it is. There's the dot for the eye. I'll have to maybe make another dot for the eye for the tungsten one because I got rid of it too quickly. All right. We will play more next time. For now, though, I think we've had enough science experiments for one day. So I kind of like the gold too. Maybe tie it in with a golden matting layer. Oh yeah, that would probably be cool. I think that one just looks more Christmassy than the tungsten one. And I think it's going to be time to put more super glue on my fingers because our weather, of course it's supposed to be warmer tomorrow. Our weather has been bitter cold. It was like, I don't know, 6 degrees. All right, here's the dot to the eye. I don't want to lose that. Maybe I should just leave it right there. It's right in the S. Phew, yeah, science taxes my brain, that's for sure. Alrighty. So thank you everybody for playing along. I appreciate the company. I appreciate the camaraderie. I appreciate the suggestions. Here are actually the cards that we did accomplish in between the science experiments and the density of my brain. Oh, I have to, oh, when is that due? And how big does a brown bag have to be? I did see something with your brown bag on there. Oh, thank you, Stella. I'm so glad you stopped in. Robert, thanks for hanging out with us. Yuda, Susan was here. Appreciate everybody popping in. Who else did we have? Juju, of course, is here. Tanya was here, too. I don't know if Tanya's still here. I'm not sure who else piped in. But if you were watching and didn't chime in, feel free to chime in. We welcome the input. So grocery size bag. So do I just like cut the face off of the bag and just use like one side of it? And then what would I be decorating with? Fifi asked about you, Sally. Yes, she did. She was here yesterday, I think, and actually asked Where have you been? So we love seeing you. Juju, maybe you can send me a text with more information of what I should be putting on a brown bag to decorate it. And then do I, oh, no, fold it in half, leave it intact. Okay. So a whole grocery bag. Okay. But then what do I decorate it with? Like all different things? Like leftover gingerbread guys, pockets. So it doesn't have to look like a theme. It could just be a collage of stuff. Bye, Robert. Maybe you can send me a picture of somebody else's page so I have an idea. And then let me know when it's due. Because I have other stuff I have to send to you too. I have to send, I've been bad. I have all of those chipboard pieces to send to you. And there's some other things in your pile that I have to send out to you. All right. So thank you everybody for joining in. I appreciate it. And let's just take a look here. There we go. And I will see everybody next time. Good to see you, Sal, or good to chat with you, Sala. Happy crafting, everybody. Safe travels, Juju.